Hello and welcome to the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. I'm Matt Mercer, instructor for the Pathfinder School and the founder of the Black App Bushcraft channel here on YouTube. And this morning I want to cook up a perfect breakfast omelet. I have with me some eggs, some onion, green pepper, and even some mushrooms. To make up that omelet, I have with me the new Pathfinder Titanium Canteen set. Over the years of going into the woods, I've carried a lot of different canteens and canteen systems with me, and of all of those, my current favorite is this Pathfinder Titanium set. Of course, being titanium, that means that this is much more lightweight than the average canteen set. And second, the Pathfinder system is a 3-piece kit, which allows you a lot more versatility and methods for using this to cook different types of meals. This morning I'm going to use this set to make a double boiler, which will ensure that I cook up the eggs perfectly and again make that perfect breakfast omelet. So let's do some food prep, some cooking, and I'm sure there'll be some eating along the way. Let's get started right now. As you can see here, I have the Pathfinder Titanium Canteen, and you can see here we have 2 cups. We have a large or standard size canteen cup, and then we have the smaller cup here. Of course, the set also comes with a lid, which perfectly fits the small container and also the standard canteen cup. The nice thing about having 2 containers like this is you can save fuel and time when you're cooking. If you fill up this standard canteen cup with water and then put your food in a smaller dish, place it up top, now you have a double boiler system. The nice thing about that is once your food is cooked, now you already have a canteen cup full of hot water, which can be used for several things. You could make coffee or hot chocolate or tea, or if you choose not to do that, once you finish eating your food from the smaller dish, you have hot water for washing that dish. So you're saving time and fuel by accomplishing both of those tasks at once. And this is especially effective when you're cooking things that can be sensitive to direct heat, like eggs or things that might burn, especially in titanium, which tends to heat up fast and cool fast. So direct heat to a rocket stove like we're using today, this double boiler will give us better results overall with what I'm choosing to cook. So the first thing I'm going to prep here is going to be a little bit of green pepper. And I definitely won't need the whole pepper, as I'm only doing a 2-egg omelet for myself. It's just me out here today. The smaller we cut the stuff up, the faster, of course, it'll cook, which means less fuel wasted. That looks pretty good. Love some green pepper. There goes some of that eating I was talking about. Just put that stuff in here. And now we got to process the onion. Won't take too much onion, I don't think. Again, we'll process this stuff down pretty fine. That'll make it cook a little faster. I'll probably have more than I need here. All right, that looks pretty good. And so once again, go ahead and throw that stuff in my pot here. We're almost ready to start cooking. Now the stove I'm going to be using today is the Pathfinder Titanium Micro Stove. And this is an excellent little stove. It is tiny, but it does a great job. I've been very pleased with this stove, and I've cooked up quite a few good meals on this. And just simply screw this on top of our fuel canister. Make sure this valve's closed before I do that. All right, and that sets up just that simple. So I just open up the fuel valve. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place my pot here on the fire, and I can already hear some sizzling, and it's important to go ahead and get some butter in this. So I'm just going to use about a teaspoon of butter. I went a little heavy with that. There we go. Don't want to overdo it. We want to get that into the pan. And that already smells good. And coat those vegetables real good. So I've gone ahead and turned down the heat just a little bit. And what I have here is just a small jar of mushrooms. You can use canned mushrooms. Of course, you could use fresh mushrooms, but these are just simple for me. So I'm going to add some of those in there. And truth be told, this is something we might actually pack into the woods. And being a small jar like this, quite easy to carry. So all I'm going to do now is just saute these vegetables down a little bit and get them nice and soft before I add the egg. And then we'll transfer this to the double boiler from there. This stuff's cooking down fast. So one of the advantages and disadvantages to titanium is that it heats up really fast. So you got to make sure to keep things moving, especially when you're cooking on something like this rocket stove, because you can burn things really quickly. And that's the advantage of the double boiler system that we're using today, is something like eggs will burn up really quick in the bottom of this titanium pan. But if you keep this stuff moving and you use that double boiler system, you won't have any problems. That's looking pretty good to me. Let's get some water in the big Canteen cup and we'll start our double boiler system. That stuff does smell good. It's hard not to eat it right now. Get some water in there. And I'm going to fill this up about 1/2 inch from the top. I'm going to go ahead and crank up the heat. That way that water can start to boil faster, and that way we can start cooking a little faster as well. So if you have an extra container, it's nice when you go to crack your eggs, because it makes it easy to scramble them. So I did get that piece of shell out. Now I'm just going to scramble these eggs up good before I pour it on top of the vegetables that I cooked up. This isn't a completely necessary step. I just like to do this as it seems to turn out better for me when I scramble them up first. You could just crack your eggs right in the pan, but I like this method. You can see I am using the Pathfinder titanium spork to mix this all up. That is my one cooking utensil for the day. All right, let's add this to our vegetables. All right, so we got our water rolling, nice. We're gonna go ahead and add these vegetables back on. I'm gonna pour my eggs in there. And the vegetables are still cool right now, so I'm gonna add the eggs in as that all heats up evenly together. And that's it. Just replace our lid and we're cooking. All right, so it's been several more minutes. Let's take a look. It's looking pretty good, actually. All that butter's kind of come to the top. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Yep, I think I can turn the stove off. This is going to be ready to eat. All right, so I've gone ahead and taken my double boiler off the stove. I've gotten out my favorite instant coffee here. Got my favorite coffee cup out. And now I'm going to take my food container, set it aside, and with that hot water, my coffee will come together at the same time as my breakfast. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely ready to check out this food. And I kind of call this an omelet because of the way it was cooked. I guess now it's really scrambled eggs, but to me an omelet is eggs stuffed with a lot of things in it, such as this onion, bell pepper, and mushroom mixture. And this stuff is cooked up perfectly. It's not stuck to the bottom of the pan. Hopefully you can see that. with the butter, the way we cooked that, the eggs cooked up perfectly, no sticking. This will be an easy cleanup, and of course, it's going to be a delicious meal. So this stuff is cooked up perfect. It's going to be delicious. I wish you could taste it. Unfortunately, we can't do that on YouTube yet, but I'm going to go and enjoy this, and we'll talk again in a moment. All right, so I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in for this episode of the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this simple recipe of cooking up eggs with mushrooms, bell peppers, and onions. And most importantly, the method that we cooked them by using a double boiler system with the titanium Canteen set. If you have that set, hopefully this will give you an idea of how you may want to cook up your next camp breakfast. By the way, do you guys have a favorite recipe that you like to prepare when you're recreating here in the great outdoors? If so, if you'll send us a copy of your favorite recipe to the email address listed down below, if we choose your recipe to feature on one of our episodes of the Pathfinder Kitchen, we'll send you a complimentary package of all the Pathfinder cook gear that we use to make your recipe, just to say thanks and that we appreciate your time, interest, and support. All right, so once again, I'm Matt Mercer for Self-Reliance Outfitters and the Pathfinder School. Until the next video, take care and be safe.